What's up, my peoples? Salutations, Yasharal, Israel. Want to thank you guys for stopping back by the channel. You see the title, Chosen. We'll make this a quick video, but before we get going, I want to give respect, reverence, praise, honor, and splendor to the Most High, His Highness Himself, the true and living God, the Almighty, our Sovereign, our King, our Savior, the only one who created all this, all right? And I'm giving him credit for it because he said he did it. The mighty one of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, YHWH, are the four Hebrew letters that make up his name, which scholars have tabbed the Tetragrammaton, but those four letters have a name. Those four letters mean a name, and that name is Yahuwah. All right. Like I said, you see the title of the video is called Chosen. This is part of my series. This video is part of my series that I'm doing called the 7 Days of Eclipse. All right, where eclipse is an acronym. The first video I did started with the letter E. It was called Eclipse. This is the second video in that series. It's called Chosen. Starts with the letter C. So we're going to get right into it. The definition of chosen. I'm taking this definition. If y'all haven't paid attention, lately I like using the Collins Dictionary because I like the way it talks. I like the way it breaks down these definitions. All right. So, definition of chosen in the Collins Dictionary. In American English, the first thing it tells me is that this is Japan's name for Korea. I didn't know that. So I just learned something when I looked at this definition earlier. It's Japan's name for Korea. Chosen. Interesting. All right. In American English, verb transitive, verb intransitive. It's the past participle of choose. All right. All right, so here's the adjective. Picked out by preference. Selected. That's what I want y'all to pay attention to. And of course, they have another definition, a theological definition that says favored by God, elect. All right. Let's see here. Here's another one. The verb says selected from several, preferred. All right. And then the noun says the elect. All right. In British English says the past participle of choose. The adjective is selected or picked out, especially for some special quality. All right. So that's the breakdown of the definition of chosen. Now let's go look at the Hebrew word behind this word, chosen. All right. And we're going to take the word chosen from Deuteronomy 7 and 6. All right. So using my Blue Letter Bible app, click on the word H977. All right. Bahar. All right. Transliteration, Bahar. Pronunciation, Bakar. All right. Now we know that this is modern Hebrew. We don't. We know that modern Hebrew has 2 or 3 other European languages mixed in with it. All right. It may have an element of Arabic language mixed in there as well. So because of the Aramaic. So. One day I'm gonna learn Hebrew. That's my intention anyway. One day I'd like to learn Hebrew. So I know it won't be the original, but heck, when the Father come back and put the original, give us our original language back, which I believe He's gonna do, I already have a head start by having a little bit of the modern language. All right, so the outline of biblical usage of the word bahar in Hebrew: to choose, elect, decide for. To choose, to be chosen, selected. All right. It's used in the translation count 172 times. All right. I don't really read the KJV that often anymore. I do use it as references, especially when I'm going back into that New Testament to prove it, to continue to prove it wrong, and to look at all the many contradictions that are in there. All right, but Bahar or Bakar is the Hebrew word H977, and the Strong's definitions for this word are select, acceptable, appoint, choose, choice, excellent, join, be rather, require. All right, so that's the Hebrew version of chosen. All right. Now I want to read, because the Father selected a group of 12 men to represent his family. He let me rephrase that. He chose one man, and by that one man having 12 sons, he chose that family. All right. So those 12 sons represent us, our ancestors. All right. Our ancestors are those 12 tribes, and they represent us. We represent them. And so I came up with 12 verses, and I'm just going to read these verses, and then we'll get out of here. All right. And I want you guys to kind of feel what I'm about to read. All right. So let's go here to the verses. All right, we're going to start in Deuteronomy 7. I just told you that's where I got the word from, the word chosen, and that's the word I wanted to focus on. So we're going to start at Deuteronomy 7. I'll go to my Safari app. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 7. And we're going to read verse 6. It says, "For you are a people consecrated to your God Yahuwah. Of all the peoples on earth, your God Yahuwah chose you to be God's treasured people." All right. It is not, verse 7, "It is not because you are the most numerous of peoples that Yahuwah grew attached to you and chose you. Indeed, you are the smallest of peoples. But it was because Yahuwah favored you and kept the oath made to your fathers, that Yahuwah freed you with a mighty hand and rescued you from the house of bondage, from the power of Pharaoh, king of Egypt." All right. And let me go ahead and read 9 and 10. It says, "Know therefore that only your mighty one Yahuwah is the mighty one, or God, the steadfast mighty one, or God, who keeps the divine covenant faithfully to the 1,000th generation of those who love him and keep the divine commandments, but who instantly requites with destruction those who reject the mighty one. Never slow with those who reject, but requiting them instantly." All right. So we were chosen for greatness, or we were chosen for punishment. All right. And regardless, because of the covenant, all right, because this covenant is a blood oath, we cannot escape it. We can't get away from it. All right. This will be something that will always be attached to us. All right. So here in these last days, we just need to own up to it. We need to accept it. All right. And allow this to become part of our identity now. We need to, do away with what we were brainwashed with, and just accept the fact that we're Yahuwah's people. All right. Yes, I know and admit that we mix with a lot of different nations. All right, but the curse, and I'm fixing to read it. The curses are what tells us who we are. All right, and I know my life ain't been easy, so, and a lot of what is said in Deuteronomy 28 aligns with my life. So, I mean, and just what I've heard from my parents and my ancestors, the piece of the puzzle I put together. So, and I'm owning it. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing what it says in Leviticus chapter 26, where we're supposed to ask for forgiveness for our sins and ask for forgiveness for the sins of our forefathers, of our ancestors, our bloodline. All right, I've done that and will continue to occasionally do that, because I want the Most High to know how sincere I am and how sorry I am for what I've done in the past and the struggles I continue to have, and what my ancestors have done, what my mom and my dad them have done, what my bloodline, what my father's bloodline, my mother's bloodlines have done. All right. All right. So next, let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28, and we're going to start at verse 32. It says, your sons and daughters shall be delivered to another people while you look on, and your eyes shall strain for them constantly, but you shall be helpless. And people you do not know shall eat up the produce of your soil and all your gains. You shall be abused and downtrodden continually, until you are driven mad by what your eyes behold. Yahuwah will afflict you at the knees and thighs with a severe inflammation from which you shall never recover, from the sole of your foot to the crown of your head. Yahuwah will drive you and the king you have set over you to a nation unknown to you or your ancestors, where you shall serve other gods of wood and stone. Wood being that Christian cross, stone being that Mecca, that stone that's in Mecca. All right, the Islam stone. Okay, they say over in Israel, the Dome of the Rock, that Islamic place of worship. They say that Muhammad was translated from there, and there's a rock there. All right, and I think there's a rock in Mecca too. But over in Israel, over in Jerusalem, the Dome of the Rock, they said that Muhammad's footprints are still engraved in that rock over there, or something like that. All right, and so, and then there's supposed to be some kind of worship, like the Black Stone or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I've researched it, and there's some kind of stone in Mecca as well, I believe. So, gods of wood and stone. This is so obvious and evident. I mean, you can't get no clearer than this. All right. Verse 37. You shall be a consternation, a proverb, and a byword among all the peoples to which Yahuwah will drive you. Ain't no telling how many times in my lifetime, I'm approaching 50, so ain't no telling how many times I done been called nigga, ace of spade, all kind of stuff, cuss words. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the color of my skin. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm talking, and when I say nigga, I'm talking hard R. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Most of y'all done been through it. All right. 38. Though you take much seed out of the field, you shall gather in little, for the locust shall consume it. We know our ancestors who were slaves, and they worked the fields and stuff. We know that they didn't eat hardly any of what they harvested. You know what I'm saying? And then when they faked them into becoming sharecroppers, the same thing happened. Excuse me, I ain't ate nothing, y'all. If y'all heard my stomach, I ain't ate nothing yet. So I'm finna go in and put me a nice little salad or something together, though. But though you plant vineyards and till them, you shall have no wine to drink or store, for the worm shall devour them. Though you have olive trees throughout your territory, you shall have no oil for ointment, for your olives shall drop off. Though you beget sons and daughters, they shall not remain with you, for they shall go into captivity. We're ancestors of we're still in captivity. The strangers in your midst shall rise above you higher and higher, while you sink lower and lower. They shall be your creditors, but you shall not be theirs. They shall be the head and you the tail. I have a thought process on that, on those two scriptures right there, but I'm not going to share them right now. I'm going to keep reading. Verse 45, all these curses shall befall you. They shall pursue you and overtake you until you are wiped out, because you did not heed your mighty one Yahuwah and keep the commandments and laws that were enjoined upon you. They shall serve as signs and proofs against you and your offspring for all time. That's what I wanted to read for you guys right there. All right. We know who we are because of the curses. All right. Verse 49. Let me skip a couple of verses. All right. Verse 49. Yahuwah will bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth, which will swoop down like the eagle, a nation whose language you do not understand. All right, I had somebody try to correct my broken English just this morning, and my response to him was, all right, this wasn't my English, wasn't my original language. If it wasn't for your ancestors, I wouldn't be dealing with broken English right now. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I didn't get a response back, but it says, a nation whose language you do not understand, a ruthless nation that will show the influential no regard and the vulnerable no mercy. All right. And we know that this nation has kind of overrun the world. All right. And that's what it meant. Remember, back in those times in Europe, in Africa, and in the Americas, everybody was melanated. All right. And so this nation that's running everything now that has no melanin, all right, that the Most High gave them power to take over everything. All right. And I truly believe that that verse that says I'm gonna have to paraphrase because I can't remember exactly what it says. It says the wicked shall inherit the earth, or the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. All right, that I had to go through, but the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. I'm not saying, listen, everybody who lacks melanin has not been evil to me. All right, I would be lying if I said that, but many of them have, or if they wasn't mean to me, they was mean to people that look like me. You know what I'm saying? And they was evil and wicked to people that look like me. Now, let me finish all that off by saying this too. I've also been treated evil by people that look like me. All right. So I know the Father gonna save who he want to save. He gonna bless who he want to bless. All right. And he gonna curse and punish who he want to punish. But a lot of people who receive punishment and judgment at the end, they're gonna be very deserving of it. All right. And I'm talking about Hebrews and Europeans alike. All right. I'm talking about the other races too. All right. Everybody who is deserving of being punished by the Father, that's what's coming to them. All right. Now, let's go to Deuteronomy 29. And we're going to read verses 9 through 14. It says, you stand this day, all of you, before your mighty one Yahuwah, your tribal heads, your elders, and your officials, every householder in Israel, your children, your wives, even the stranger within your camp, from wood chopper to water drawer, to enter into the covenant of your mighty one Yahuwah, which your mighty one Yahuwah is concluding with you this day with its sanctions, in order to establish you this day as God's people, and in order to be your mighty one, as promised you and as sworn to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I make this covenant with its sanctions, not with you alone, but both with those who are standing here with us this day before Yahuwah, and with those who are not with us here this day. Meaning, Everybody who was there with amongst our ancestors, they were a part of that covenant. And even those who weren't there that day, everybody who was a part of them bloodlines, we were chosen. All right, we were selected. Let's go to Deuteronomy now. Let's go to Deuteronomy 31. Let's go to Deuteronomy 31, and we're going to read, we're going to start at verse 14. It says, Yahuwah said to Moses, the time is drawing near for you to die. Call Yahushua, that's Yahushua son of Nun, and present yourselves in the tent of meeting, that I may instruct him, Moses, or that I may instruct him. Moses, who I think his name is Musha, because his name has a Y in it, but we just still call him Moses, and Joshua or Yahushua went and presented themselves in the tent of meeting. Verse 15, Yahuwah appeared in the tent in a pillar of cloud. Let me roll this window up real quick. All right. Let's see all right. Yahuwah appeared in the tent in a pillar of cloud, the pillar of cloud having come to rest at the entrance of the tent. Yahuwah said to Moses, now remember, he was talking to Moses, but Yahushua, son of Nun, was there. He heard it. He said, you are soon to lie with your ancestors. This people will thereupon go astray after the alien gods in their midst in the land that they're about to enter. They will forsake me and break my covenant that I made with them. Excuse me. Verse 17, then my anger will flare up against them, and I will abandon them and hide my countenance from them. They shall be ready prey, and many evils and troubles shall befall them. And they shall say on that day, surely it is because our mighty one is not in our midst that these evils have befallen us. And verse 18, yet I will keep my countenance hidden on that day because of all the evil they have done in turning to other gods. So now I just read to you us being chosen and why the Most High chose us, all right, and why we had to go through what we've gone through. So now let me read these next 8 verses, which I'm breaking it down. I did part of the Torah. I did 4 verses from the Torah. I did 4 from I'm doing 4 from the Nevi'im, all right, which is the prophets part. And then I'm going to do 4 more. I'm going to finish up with 4 from the Ketuvim, or the writings part. That's Tanakh, all right? So now let's go to the prophets. We're going to start in Isaiah 41. All right, let me get over here to Isaiah. Oh, come on. Why are you going so slow? All right. Isaiah 41. And we're going to read 2 verses. All right. But you, Israel, my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, seed of Abraham, my friend, you whom I drew from the ends of the earth and called from its far corners, to whom I said, you are my servant. I chose you. I have not rejected you. All right. And let me read 10. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not frightened, for I am your mighty one. I strengthen you and I help you. I uphold you with my victorious right hand. Listen, I'm doing this video and these series of videos because I want to continue to help wake up my people. All right. And I want to continue to just share information that will help you guys as you seek the Most High and as you learn to walk with him. All right. We were chosen. All right. He has turned, I believe he has returned his countenance to us. All right. And that, but we have to seek him. And when enough of the remnant have decided to apologize for our sins and apologize for our ancestors' sins, and enough of us have begun to call out to him and cry out to him, and enough of us have put away the idols and the false religions, all right, and enough of us have begun to try to purify ourselves and get right within his instructions and his Torah, that's when he's going to save us. And I believe we have reached a point in history where that could happen at any point in time now. I've personally interacted with different groups who believe that the Most High is alone, that we are his people, and that he's coming back for us. So I believe that there's enough of us out here doing that right now. All right. And I just want to contribute to that. All right. Let's go to Isaiah 43 now. Isaiah 43. Let's start at verse 4. Says, because you are precious to me and honored, and I love you, I give people in exchange for you and nations in your stead. Fear not, for I am with you. I will bring your folk from the east, will gather you out of the west. I will say to the north, give back, and to the south, do not withhold. Bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the end of the earth. All who are linked to my name, whom I have created, formed, and made for my splendor or glory. Setting free that people, blind though it has eyes, and deaf though it has ears. Later in the week, I'll be doing a video, or my next video will be called lethargy, and this is going to be one of the verses in there. All right. Verse 9. All the nations assemble as one, the peoples gather. Whom among them declared this, foretold to us the things that have happened. Let them produce their witnesses and be vindicated, that people hearing them may say it is true. 10. My witnesses are you, declares Yahuwah, my servant whom I have chosen, to the end that you may take thought and believe in me and understand that I am the one. Before me no God was formed, and after me none shall exist. None but me, Yahuwah. Beside me none can grant triumph. I alone foretold the triumph and brought it to pass. I announced it, and no strange God was among you. So you are my witnesses, declares Yahuwah, and I am God. I am the mighty one. We are witnesses to what? We are witnesses that he alone is God. There is no New Testament Messiah who is equal to him sitting on his right hand. Y'all, we cannot claim that stuff no more. All right. And you heard me when I broke down the part about in the Torah, how it said because he did that to us because of the false gods. All right. If you go read Deuteronomy 13, you'll see that he tests us with false prophets who bring false gods. And that's what that New Testament Messiah is. He's a test. That guy was a false prophet at best. At best. And the Jews back then were supposed to kill him. If what he said, if that stuff that he said in the New Testament is true, they were supposed to knock him off. They did what they're supposed to do. All right, now let's go to Hosea. Is Hosea the one I want? Let me see real quick. Yes, Hosea chapter. Let me see. Yep. Hosea 10. All right. Hosea 10, starting at verse 9. You have sinned more, O Israel, than in the days of Gibeah. There they stand as at Gibeah. Shall they not be overtaken by a war upon scoundrels? As peoples gather against them, when I chose them, I broke them in, harnessing them for 2 furrows. Ephraim became a trained heifer, but preferred to thresh. I placed a yoke upon her sleek neck. I will make Ephraim do advanced plowing. Judah shall do main plowing. Jacob shall do final plowing. Sow righteousness for yourselves, reap the fruits of goodness. Break for yourselves betimes fresh ground of seeking Yahuwah. We're not supposed to seek nobody but him. There is nobody equal to him. He didn't send that so-called New Testament son. He didn't send him. All right. He didn't send him to save us. He said, break for yourselves betimes fresh ground of seeking Yahuwah, so that you may obtain a teacher of righteousness. All right. He wants us to seek him and him alone. We were chosen as his witnesses to seek him and him alone. All right, now let's go to Amos. Let's go to Amos chapter 3, and I'm going to read just 2 verses over there in Amos. And then we'll be done with the Tanakh part, with the Nevin part of this video. All right, Amos chapter 3, verses 1 and 2. Hear this word, O people of Israel, that Yahuwah has spoken concerning you, concerning me and you. All right, concerning the whole family that I brought up from the land of Egypt. You alone have I singled out of all the families of the earth. That is why I called you to account for all your iniquities. He's punishing us because of that blood covenant, that bond he made with us. All right, and he's calling us out for our mistakes and our faults and our sins, especially the ones where we calling on fake gods. All right, and where we're adding gods to him. All right, we're connecting gods to him. He don't want us to do that. We're not supposed to be doing that. All right. All right. Now let's go to Psalms 33. And we're going to get to the Ketuvim part, the writings part, and then we'll be done. All right. Psalms 33. Psalm 33, verse 12. It says, happy the nation whose God is Yahuwah, the people who he has chosen to be his own. He chose us. We should be happy that he chose us. Stop serving that fake salvific son. Stop dealing with all these other religions. Cut Islam off. Cut Buddhism off. Scientology, if you into what the actors and actresses and the entertainers are into, cut that crap off. All right? You are not your own God in the sense that you created yourself. All right? You are not your own. Yes, we are mighty ones. All right? The Most High does not deal with weak ones. He deals with mighty ones. All right? But we are not gods in the sense that we can do what the hell we want to do. And we don't have to answer to no rules. No, he chose us to carry out this covenant of being a light to the nations and being the righteousness that's in the world. That's why I just read for y'all, we supposed to seek the righteousness. All right, we supposed to seek the mighty one so he will give us a teacher in righteousness, because righteousness is the most important thing to him. He said, be holy as I am holy. All right. That's what we got to do. All right. Now let's go to Psalm 105. Going to Psalm 105. All right. And we're going to start at verse 4. It says, turn to Yahuwah, to his might. Seek his presence constantly. Remember the wonders he has done, his portents and the judgments he has pronounced. One of the portents that's coming up is that eclipse. All right. O offspring of Abraham, his servant. O descendants of Jacob, his chosen ones. We were chosen. All right. He is Yahuwah Almighty One. His judgments are throughout the earth. He is ever mindful of his covenant, the promise he gave for 1,000 generations, that he made with Abraham, swore to Isaac, and confirmed in a decree for Jacob, for Israel, as an eternal covenant. We can't get away from it. It's eternal. All right. And this is major right here. Saying, to you will I give the land of Canaan as your allotted heritage. All right. Excuse me. He gave that land to us as our heritage. It will always be ours now, but we have to be righteous to get it. And we have to turn back to him to get to it. For him to turn back to us completely and redeem us. All right. Purify us and save us. Save us and purify us. All right. It goes in that order. Save us and purify us. All right. And now let's go to Psalm 135. And we're about to wrap it up. Psalm 135. Hallelujah. Praise the name of Yahuwah. Give praise, you servants of Yahuwah, who stand in the house of Yahuwah, in the courts of the house of our mighty one. Praise Yahuwah, for Yahuwah is good. Sing hymns to his name, for it is pleasant. For Yahuwah has chosen Jacob for himself, Israel as his treasured possession. For I know that Yahuwah is great, and our master is greater than all gods. This is about us serving him and him alone, turning back to him, treating the instructions, the Torah, with importance, carrying out what we can, reading, doing what we read to the best of our abilities. All right. And in humility, crying out to him and asking him to save us from our current situation, which is which we want to be a worldwide salvation. All right. Because we know salvation, right, is tangible. All right. Salvation is tangible. All right. Last verse we're going to go to. We're going to go to Daniel 12, y'all. Let's go to Daniel 12. All right. Daniel 12. All right. I believe our time is almost up here, y'all. All right. So I'm going to start at, let me see. Let me read verses 1 and 2, and then I might want to read 1 or 2 more down below. It says, at that time, the great prince Michael, who stands beside the sons of your people, Daniel, he's talking to Daniel about us. All right. This talking about the last days, the latter days. All right. It will be a time of trouble, the like of which has never been since the nation came into being. At that time, your people will be rescued, all who are found inscribed in the book. Start trying to purify yourselves. All right. Take the 10 Commandments serious. All right. Take anything that's abominable serious and don't do those things. Anything that he said he hates, try to stay away from those things. All right. And anything when you're reading in Leviticus, all right, and you're reading in Numbers and you're reading in Deuteronomy, the things that apply to you as an individual, the things that apply to your wife or your girlfriend, all right, the things that apply to the people in your household, whether it be your parents, your siblings, or your children, or your spouse. Those things that apply to y'all as individuals, do them the best you can. All right? That is considered righteousness in the Most High's eyes. Let's see. Was there one more I wanted to read out of Daniel? All right, yes, verses 9 and 10. This is the messenger talking, this is the Malak talking to Daniel. He said, go, Daniel, for these words are secret and sealed to the time of the end. Many will be purified and purged and refined. The wicked will act wickedly, and none of the wicked will understand, but the knowledgeable will understand. All right. All right, that's what I wanted to read. Listen. None of us has all of this completely right, but the Most High left enough for us to be close to blameless in his sight. All right. We should be striving to be blameless in his sight. That's the way I look at it. It is what it is, y'all. As I continue to learn, as I continue to grow, as I continue to allow the Most High to show me certain things, and as I continue to have conversations that enlighten me with brethren that think like me, I'm always going to stay a sponge and continue to try to just learn. All right. I don't agree with some of the things that some of you might agree with, but at the end of the day, I am the Almighty only. All right. I believe I'm one of his chosen. And I believe that he is going to save us from this wicked ass system. Excuse my English. All right. This world is evil and we need him to cleanse it. All right. And I just want to be one of the last ones standing when he begins to cleanse it. Okay. Purify yourselves. Do the best you can to stay within the Torah instructions. Love you guys. Praying for you guys. Stay humble. Stay hungry. All right. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Until the next video, shalom and shalom.